curious, want to explore, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come on, here with me, I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow. This feeling's too intense, we can't ignore.
So tell me about
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here, and so is the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Brooklyn Nets going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So for the Timberwolves, their last game, a loss to Golden State. That game was a shootout. Defense will be the key tonight for them to bounce back with a win. And some of the best guards in the league facing off tonight, different skill sets, different styles. Kenny, if you had to build a guard from scratch, what are some of the characteristics you'd look for?
Oh, no question. I'd take the shooting touch of Steph Curry. I'd take the
He makes it look
effortless. I'd take the toughness of Russell Westbrook. I'd take the basketball savvy of Chris Paul. And I'd throw
You take the defense of...
I'll take the defense of Tony Allen and throw it all together. You wouldn't put that together, Shaq? That's making you tired and sleepy? Wake up!
Is this boring you?
I would want toughness. You have to be able to switch on to certain players, the bigger players, and I would like the leadership.
And give me the size of Michael Carter Williams at the point.
The size of Michael Carter. How about the size of Magic Johnson?
No, that's a little bit too big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because later on in his career. Wake up, man.
What happened?
Leadership.
Oh, sorry.
And I'll take the ability not to go to sleep like Shaq.
Well, if you answer the question.
I never want to waste your time. My life. So precious is yours, is mine. Hey, look at the time, my God. So precious is yours, is mine.
Welcome, everyone, to the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the home of the Timberwolves, where we're broadcasting from live today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this broadcast of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter is the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend KG, Kevin Garnett, has come by to say hello and join us. Kevin, great to see you.
K-Hall, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm glad you're here.
It's good to see you, man.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm always ready. What's up?
All right. Take a look at the Nets. They haven't had the year to this point they were hoping for, and it may be tough, guys, to right the ship for them.
Yeah, and mentally, they're a team right now that's a little bit dysfunctional. And there's a visible tightness in terms of how they play and little flow right now to the game. They just haven't been able to sustain any periods of consistency.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Jimmy Butler survived a tough upbringing in Tomball, Texas. He said, that's all anybody ever wanted to talk about. But I don't want that to define me. If I'm stuck in the past, then I won't get any better. I won't change. I'll get stuck as that kid. That's not who I am. I'm a great basketball player because of my work. Guys?
Thanks, David. You can tell Butler has a good head on his shoulders, an elite talent in this league because of the hard work he puts in. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Shh, okay.
Keep that between us.
Okay. So the Timberwolves win the tip. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Setting the floor for the Nets. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Zeller. Then it's Damari Carroll. Then it's Russell. And it's Dinwiddie in at the 1. The Timberwolves shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight. And the first one drops. And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the big baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House. And then all of this, and
great names.
Great names. Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and all different facets, and very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there. I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Wow. The Nets shooting their first foul shot of the night.
And on the season, they're hitting about 76%, which is a decent rate.
Guys, their free throw shooting has slipped a bit since last year, but not really to the point where they should be overly concerned about it.
One shot, gentlemen.
That one misses for Zeller. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. The time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them.
Ooh! That's how you attack. Wow.
Oh, man. my. Making the impossible look easy. Wiggins with the great creativity in the air. He typically hangs in the air a little longer than the average bird, though.
They double him with Wiggins. Carroll with it, now guarded by Gibson. There's the pick. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Carroll. The rebound by Gibson. Timberwolves have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. And
How about this combo, guys? Part super athlete, part contortionist. Towns continues to impress.
Passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Towns comes with a double team. And it's Carroll in the corner. Wants to get it to Zeller and does. And good that time. Zeller's got 10 points.
Impeccable mechanics this quarter. He's been perfect from the field.
And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing. Right, we definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Hey, Kevin, when you play with Andrew Wiggins, you saw firsthand just how explosive he can be. What impresses you most about where he is right now and where he could go?
Man, Andrew's potential is through the roof. I've told him this countless times that when he wants to, he can. There's nothing that he can't do. It's just about his consistency and how he sees that, man. I told him, man, the world is his. I've yet to see a player in our league that has the athletic ability that he has, mixed with the IQ and being able to be players on both sides of the ball if he wants to. This kid is super long. He's fast. He's deceptionally fast. Like, I don't think people know how fast he really is. Great shooter, has a great IQ, not a good IQ, a great IQ. I told him, man, I would like to see him with a little more oomph in his step. But if you know Drew, he's laid back. He's super cool. He's smooth with it, and his game.
Talk about bringing it. Well, I like seeing Butler show off his mad hops. This guy's got big-time bounce and knows how to slam it down with authority.
And Gibson over to help. Dinwiddie kicks to Russell. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. Russell's got his first points of the game. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe. Who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. Yeah. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off or showcase it.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like,
yeah,
oh my God,
but look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. And I was like, oh my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
And they couldn't get stops when they needed to. The opposition just too comfortable shooting the basketball.
Well, you know what, Greg? When the defense is that lax, come on now, they honestly deserve to lose. You can't let a team get into that kind of a groove.
And Kevin, your last couple years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How good do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. When you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. he understands history. He's been here before. If you follow him through his high school years, he's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do his rookie year? That's what's driving him.
And stolen by Butler. Feeds it to Towns. And the shot goes in. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard, playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And also, how about the fact defensively, they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
The free throw drops for Towns. You talk about Karl Anthony Towns and his willingness to learn. You can't be great, I don't think, Kev, if you're not curious. And I always thought that was one of your best qualities. You were always curious.
Listen, I was super curious, and I always chased that curiosity. Not only that, I started to put the work ethic with that. If you don't put those things together, well, I would always tell him, be humble. Don't ever get to the point where your arrogance, starts to take over. Let your arrogance be on the court and what you're doing, how you're playing. Control your breathing. The young fella has a lot of good bones. I love his makeup. I love the fact that I had a year with him to teach him perspective, to teach him mentality, to teach him that you got to come in here and work on this every day. And the day that you don't, someone has advantage. He pushes himself. Karl Anthony Towns he's from the pedigree, man. He's one of them ones. I like to think that he's under the umbrella. He's one of my young brothers, man.
The putback. And finally they hit one. Towns has got 19 points.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
And Gibson over to help. Towns with the steal. All alone.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My goodness.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And I tell you what, Greg, they've worked hard for this lead. Their play calling has been superb and the execution even better.
Here's Zeller. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. Dinwiddie's got 5 assists tonight. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. Timeout called the Nets. Karl Anthony Towns with a strong contribution so far in this one.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan.
Timmy,
yeah, how about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is our inner animal that you never speak about. We're all a little off. We're all a little dark, but that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal, no one's ever done it, that's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. If Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
He did Will Chamberlain a favor, and that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive, and the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. And a new group in for the Nets. Okafor is checked in for Tyler Zeller. Allen comes in for Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Crabs checked in for Damari Carroll. And it's LeVert in for Spencer Dinwiddie.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
They sure are. I mean, they've done a terrific job carving out space under the basket and then pursuing the ball. You know, it's one thing to box out, but you've got to pursue the ball if you're going to get rebounds. And they look strong here in the early going.
Kicks it to Russell. Okafor with the screen on Jones. To the middle. And it's Okafor missing.
Boy, the defense was great. Superb, stellar, platinum level. Can't really contest that shot any better than that.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had the chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil's super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout to Doc, and I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, man, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear.
Boy, the energy by Okafor on display there really just kind of willed that shot in over some pretty stingy defense.
Nets trail by 16. Pass to LeVert. Lets it go from deep. It's hauled in by Jamal Crawford.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Jones against Russell. Makes it off the glass. Russell's got his third basket of the night right there.
Yeah, those shots are taken totally in rhythm, high percentage quality shots, and really getting whatever he wants.
Here's Muhammad. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
LeVert the pass to Okafor. Here's LeVert. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Here's Jang. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Russell with it. Jones covering. Pick by Okafor. Outside, Russell to the paint. It's stolen by Jones. Fast break, Minnesota. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks.
Defensively, they've got to pick up the intensity. Hard to win surrendering this high a field goal percentage.
Yeah, you've got to turn up the dial on the intensity at the defensive end if you're them. I mean, it's still early, but I agree with you.
Here's LeVert, guarded by Crawford. Crawford with the steal. Drops in the layup for 2. Crawford's got his second basket of the night.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
Yeah, and the execution, time and time again, right on point. They're running their offense to perfection.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. They've leaned on him for offense, and he hasn't let them down. He's now up to 23 points today. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And quite a position here for the Timberwolves to be in. What do you think, guys?
Getting high percentage looks, wearing down that defense on the inside.
Grinding away down low, man, just filing them down. Love the bully ball method. Paying off well.
Bielitsa is out there with Shabazz Muhammad. Then it's Jones. Then it's Gorgui Dieng. And it's Crawford at the shooting guard position. So that's the lineup for Minnesota.
Shooting two, gentlemen.
That free throw missing. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the Hacka Drummond, Hacka Shaq, all this stuff, Hacka DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Mm-hmm. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points as they should. As any sport and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses, he's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
Here's Allen. Minnesota with the rebound. Zhang's got his fourth rebound with that last one here tonight.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to Bidu. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times. Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
That's in, and that's his 4th basket of the night. He's taken 7 shots, a solid 57%.
Boy, he's been excellent thus far, Kevin, but it still hasn't been enough to get them the lead.
Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all 3-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the 3 now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
And so he makes both from the line.
Shabazz Muhammad was one of the biggest names in all of high school sports as a senior. He's still trying to find that same kind of buzz and groove at this level.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big 3, it's the big 4. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look,
you were the original big 3.
It seems like it, eh? Right.
You were the original big 3.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't even know that we were doing that. Right, because LeBron come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's
Miami
the big 3
that,
right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing into these different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you think of that?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, let's say 20 years from now, when he sits back and he wants to talk to Steph, wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be 3 greats with him. I'm just talking about those 3 guys. He's playing with 3 other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with 3 other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
Some changes for Minnesota. Wiggins is checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. Jimmy Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teagan for Tyus Jones. And a switch here for Brooklyn. Damari Carroll's checked in for Allen. To the wing right side. A 3-ball. And it's LeVert missing. And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, right? But this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with 3 other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. The Timberwolves made 6 of their 7 attempts at the line in this one. The first one falls. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev? I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you. And you have to put your spin on it and for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. So it's Brooklyn now. Zeller dishes to Dinwiddie. He kicks it to Carroll. Over to the wing. Just 4 to shoot. And again, no good by Brooklyn.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
That
man.
is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. That's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it. But, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
That one goes in. 16 points for Tyler Zeller. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. Carroll, no one around him. No good on the triple.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing on target.
And for Brooklyn, they're shooting 43% for the game. And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
An easy layup after coming off the pick. Carroll's got his second basket. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done? Any player that you wish you would have played with? Any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about I would love to play with Cole for a year or, got to, team, at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
It was.
It was. To the Lakers?
My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. Yeah. It was what it was. But, Cole,
you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything?
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, he, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even gonna front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and watch the game. I'm loving the game.
Yeah.
Terrific awareness from the savvy point guard. Jeff Teague is excellent at getting the ball to the open man.
Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family and event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
That free throw good from Hollis Jefferson. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. Say, continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life, and you capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it, so, hopefully it shows.
Shots, gentlemen.
And here's a look now at the shot chart showing the field goals attempted locations for Towns.
And the three-point game stands out as a major sore spot. It just has not been falling for him. I think at this point you start to get away from that shot. Try to engage in other parts of the offense. You don't want to hurt your team if that long ball isn't there.
The first free throw is good. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Wiggins. Crawford comes in for Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. The Nets also changing it up. Allen's checked in for Rondé Hollis Jefferson. And D'Angelo Russell subbed in for Dinwiddie. That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
Yeah, I don't think it's an accident that aggressiveness correlates with playing better. So the aggressiveness is starting to pay off.
And for the Nets, they're shooting just 39% in the second quarter. Russell kicks to Harris. Muhammad with the steal. Here's Jones. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
Yeah, that was the third straight high percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
Screened by Russell. Doubled by Crawford, and the foul called on Tyus Jones. That is his first foul of the game. Okafor is checked in for Brooklyn. Allen, a screen on Crawford. Russell with a wide open look. Off target from three-point range. The Timberwolves shooting a superb 63% from the field. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing. And Brooklyn called for the foul. The Timberwolves have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. The free throw drops for Towns.
And you know what's impressive about Towns to me, guys, at this young age? The preparation he puts into each and every game. He's a true pro in that regard.
And Towns drops them both. And for the Nets, they're shooting in this game 45%. Okafor sets the pick for Russell. Down low. He's looking for Okafor and finds him.
And how many extra possessions have they gotten because of that rebounding edge?
Well, it's been a bunch, and I think it's made the difference in the game. I mean, they've actually done a great job on the board.
Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. Always fun to have Kevin Garnett on the set, Clark. You can tell he was in high spirits as usual.
Well, this is what you want from Muhammad. Pushing the action, then finishing with force. Yes.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Harris kicks to Allen. The Nets working the ball around now. There's Crabbe with the three. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Russell's got assist number 5 here tonight.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
And Towns gets it to go.
And he has just been in a flow offensively. Terrific game. He has been the X factor.
Now Crabbe. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Bucks in Milwaukee. That's tipped. Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
You know what makes Towns so dangerous in transition? He can beat you with the shot, or he can beat you at the rim.
And through one half, it hasn't even been close. The Timberwolves on top, running away with it. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy, you have come a long way in this league. When you look at your career now versus when you came in, how different is it?
Much different. I think on the floor, I'm supposed to do a lot more on both ends of the floor. And off the floor, I think it's still the same. People recognize my hair.
Well, it is a unique style, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 33 points, 2 block shots, and 8 rebounds. Coming off a great performance last game, tonight he looked like he had that same aggressive mindset. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, right now, they're winning the battle above the rim. I'm talking about all their offensive rebounding, just a ton of second chance opportunities. They just wanted it more. And obviously, those extra possessions were converted into points that helped them build this huge lead.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Nets.
Well, their sloppy play really surprised me, especially the turnovers. No matter who they had out there, they never seemed to be on the same page. Their only hope is to make every possession count, and that means taking care of the ball.
That's it for now, as the second half's just about ready to go.
We come back to Minnesota now with a striking look at the 10th Avenue Bridge, downtown Minneapolis, off in the distance. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
Unbelievable the way he dominated that offensive glass in those first two quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Guys, you've heard me say it before, but persistence pays. And it takes that kind of persistence to be a successful offensive rebounder. As a fellow glass eater, I know of which I speak. Those guys that rebound effectively don't give up on it.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Clark, a lot of ways to initiate the offense. What's the one thing you look for in a playmaker for a team?
Well, I think the willingness to give the ball up early and then to be able to understand what they're trying to get done offensively. So that comes back to basketball IQ, and we're assuming that the skill set is there. But to me, it's just understanding what you're trying to get every time down the floor and then being able to initiate that with the pass or the dribble.
So for Brooklyn now, we've got D'Angelo Russell. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Zeller. Then it's Damari Carroll, and it's Dinwiddie in at the point guard position.
So going to the free throw line is Russell off a quick dribble drive.
This is his first free throw of the game. The first one falls. And for D'Angelo Russell, the former number 2 overall pick in 2015 out of Ohio State. Greg, in your opinion, what makes him so special as a prospect?
I think it's all about his skill level. I mean, the league loves players who can handle, pass, and shoot. And he can do all three at an elite level. And he's not just a stationary shooter. He can hit pull-ups, a very good in-between game as well. Let's just see if he can continue his maturation process.
And the shot goes down.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Yeah, and they're really getting pummeled on points in the paint here.
Lets it go with a 3. Again, Russell missing. Timberwolves have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Here's Towns. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, you watch Karl Anthony Towns, and he just epitomizes the future of the NBA big man. Extremely versatile, gets it done inside and outside at both ends of the floor, and has a fluidity to his game that belies his size.
Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good. And with Towns and him being the future of the NBA big men, the numbers he's put up at a young age are staggering. Clark just looks like a guard out there sometimes.
Well, there's a good reason for that, Kevin. You know, Towns actually played guard before a big growth spurt. I think that clearly helped with his skills, and that's why he's so comfortable creating. It's a perfect situation for a guy like him to revolutionize what a low block player can do.
Poked loose. And Gibson over to help. Here's Hollis Jefferson. He's certainly been a consistent piece of their offense, averaging about 14.5 points a game. Here's Butler. He's got 10. A stupendous finish in traffic. Butler's got 12.
He is in the zone. There's a reason he keeps getting the ball. They're feeding him because they trust him to lead their team.
Carroll with a screen on Butler. Hollis Jefferson all on the play. Basket count, so it'll be a three-point play chance.
Boy, and the power and lift from Hollis Jefferson, able to finish right through contact.
And you'll hear some say the sleeper of that 2015 draft was Rondé Hollis Jefferson. I mean, a fractured ankle his rookie season limited him to just those 29 games. But when healthy, he's shown he can be a force defensively.
One shot.
That free throw good from Hollis Jefferson. And Greg, what separates Hollis Jefferson, do you think, as an NBA defender?
Physicality, quickness to go along with anticipation. I mean, with his pressure D, he's able to suffocate perimeter players and rack up steals. And don't forget versatility. He's a guy that can guard multiple positions, and that's a huge asset for any team. So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Yeah, refusing to give up anything easy. Solid defense, and I like that attitude.
And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great... Ooh! That's how you attack. Wow.
Oh, man. my.
Oh, that's an old-fashioned rim rattler.
Just a remarkable gem. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now.
Platinum level highlight reel material. That is Showtime stuff there.
And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That'll be his second foul of the game. Dinwiddie passes to Zeller. He dishes it to Dinwiddie. Rebound, Minnesota. Gibson's got his 5th rebound in this one. Here's Towns, and again it's Minnesota.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Well, when you knock down jumpers like that, it opens everything else up as well.
There's the pick. To the paint, up off the screen. Hollis Jefferson can't hit.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole, because he is just not there offensively. And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Knocks it loose. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Towns. At this break, we have a chance to break down where the assist has been coming from tonight between the front and backcourt for the Nets.
And the guards doing what they can to create some offense. Sometimes that's what it takes to climb back into a game. That commitment to share the ball and trust your teammates, it can help you weather some early struggles.
The Nets have gone 2 of 6 from the field here in the third. They set the pick. Dinwiddie kicks to Zeller. He got right to the cup using that screen. Zeller's got 4 points in the quarter.
And that's why it's so important to really be a good screening team. You get a lot of open looks from it.
The Nets have gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half. And it's LeVert missing. And here are the Timberwolves. They're on a 14-5 run here. And the dunk by Towns.
You know, for a guy with Towns' size, I mean, to have this level of body control, I tell you what, it's no wonder the contact didn't bother the shot.
The feed to Carroll. Here's Dinwiddie. And it's off from three-point range. Here's Teague. Here's Towns. And that one is off. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. Last time they met was in Brooklyn.
A really close game between these two in that last matchup. It took a total team effort for them to get the win.
It sure did, and they got a lot of scoring from their bench, Greg, and I think that really was the crucial difference.
And Clark, when you think back to your career, what do you miss the most about playing in the National Basketball Association?
Well, you know, for me, Kevin, because my career was cut short due to injury, I missed the opportunity to see how good I could have been on a winning team, on a playoff team. Back in the early 80s, the Pacers were building towards that, and I never got a chance to be part of a playoff team. And the camaraderie you establish in going through the shared misery and joy of competing is something that's special and unique to sports, and you really don't find it in any other venue.
And he makes the first. You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They thought it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends. And the Nets' decision to go all in for a title, much scrutinized, and rightly so. I mean, you've got to respect the financial commitment, and at the time, an NBA record for payroll didn't quite pan out the way they hoped.
Brooklyn's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third, still 0 for 3. Here's Dinwiddie. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game. Zeller, a screen on Teague. Deep two from Carroll, and he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron. And for the Nets back in 2013-14, the new luxury tax structure resulted in record losses for the franchise. $144 million. That's a lot in a single season.
Yeah, that's a lot of zeros, Kevin. More than 10 times the next closest team at the time. So that's not a list you want to be on. Ownership now showing a little more discipline and restraint, even looking to sell almost half the team to spread those future costs.
And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Timberwolves.
Anytime you get as many points in the paint as they have, you know you've got a good thing going, and you just want to keep it going.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
2 shots.
Free throw good, Wiggins. And with Andrew Wiggins, you know he can be deadly from mid-range, but he's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts, and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
And when you're on a young team that's still finding its way, how much does the losing take a toll on you as a player?
Well, I can speak to that because I was in that situation back in the early 80s. It does take a toll, but you keep your eye on what's ahead, and you relish the chance to develop as a young player. For the veterans, there's a lot less patience for a losing record, that's for sure.
The dish to Zeller. Cuts off the pass. Here's Butler. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
Fast breaks yield easy buckets, guys. They've made the most of their chances in that regard. The defense not able to get set. You get a running start to the rim, you should get a good number of scoring chances that way.
It's Bjelica, not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down. Bjelica's got 13 points. Brooklyn's gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. And the pass to Stauskas. His three-pointer's off the mark.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
They get it back. Bjelica with the bucket.
And you can see how this game is going. I mean, put a body on somebody.
Exactly, man. Come on. You got to be physical down there. There's got to be some intensity and some physicality on the boards.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Well, the defensive rotations, Greg, have been a step slow, and it's really helped them get that ball inside time after time.
Here's Stauskas, back to Carroll, goes up the baseline, and another make to his scoring column, his 5th basket of the game, now shooting 5 of 11.
And that's his role. That's where Carroll's at his best, the catch and shoot.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
The Nets have gone 7 for 16 in the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. To the middle, here's Carroll. The shot, no good. Great D that time from Teague. Jang dishes to Butler, shoots from the line. The rebound by the Nets. Here's Dinwiddie, and Zeller kicks to Dinwiddie. Here's the screen. Stauskas, the pass to Carroll. The top of the key jumper is on the mark. Carroll's got 9 points now in just the second half.
And you know what? He's shaking off the cold shooting performance from the first half.
A nice shot by Teague.
And Teague has a really economical textbook shooting form. Even when the defense is smothering him, he keeps his focus on the basket and his fundamentals.
Outside Carroll. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
And a quick look at the numbers for Jeff Teague. He's right around 13 points a night, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. And his playmaking really stands out, making his teammates better offensively with his terrific passing.
Yeah, he's outstanding at controlling the tempo. I mean, keeps the ball moving and, of course, finds the open man.
Oh, and the jam by Butler.
Staying alert and aware. Wiggins sees his man flash to an open spot. Pass is right on the money.
The Nets shooting right around 42% from the field since the start of the second half. Here's Dinwiddie. Teague covering. Here's LeVert. Here's Zeller. The stupendous finish in traffic. Zeller's got 6 in the quarter.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Here's Wiggins. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
Just no resistance inside at all. They are feasting. This is a straight buffet.
It is. It's a big one. And load the plate.
Yeah, exactly. It sure is. Plenty of second opportunities. 8 of their last 10 points from the paint, but the defense still continues to back away and not show any aggressiveness.
Stauskas has gone 2 of 4 from the field. Here's Jang. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. Jang's got 8 points.
And, you know, we all know about Jang's high motor. Defensively, you can't just let him float around the glass. You've got to get a body on him.
Pulls up on the wing. Rebound by Bjelica. Bjelica's got 5 rebounds tonight, and it's Butler with the jam.
Excellent touch around the rim. Really nicely done. Jimmy Butler making it look easy.
1:57 left in the third quarter of the game. Pick by Zeller. Dinwiddie kicks to Carroll. They get it again. Second shot opportunity. And Zeller with the lay-in. Zeller's got 26.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
And for the Nets, they're shooting at 44%. Pretty reasonable. Stauskas inside the line. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. He has 7.
You know, with Nick Stauskas, it's basically pick your poison. I mean, you play up on him too tight, and he'll go by you. But if you back off of him now, he can burn you with that jumper.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
Yeah, they gave up in that one. The defense constantly breaking down way too many times.
Yep, and that's not a winning performance. I mean, you got to tighten up the defense moving forward if you're going to get some W's.
group out there on the floor for the Nets. Let's take a moment to see which squads have been the most dominant on the glass this season. Here are the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. The fourth spot held by the Nets.
You know, it's not necessarily a glamour stat, but make no mistake, their top-notch board work has been a huge key to their success.
At the line for two.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
And so Jamal Crawford nails both of them.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
No misses yet. You can't do much better than that, guys.
Unloads from 13. Misses off the right iron. The Timberwolves shooting an impressive 61% from the field in this third quarter. No good from Gibson.
Great look, but he couldn't finish. Everything but is how we say that. Surprising since the defense was very pedestrian.
Now the Timberwolves with it. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Yeah, the vision of town. Sees the whole floor. Finds an unguarded teammate there.
Here is Russell. 9 points in the game so far. He feeds it to Crabbe. Down low, Towns with the steal. On, here we go. Crawford all alone.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
The shot and game clock separated by 4. Crabbe, no good.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off. Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be terribly deflating for the opposition. Boy, they look helpless. Really getting beat up, physically and emotionally.
There's Russell with the 3. No good on that last second attempt there. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. The Timberwolves on top, running away with this one. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
Defensively, make sure we're all getting rebounded. No second shots. In transition, everyone talking. No open threes in transition.
And Tom Thibodeau wanting his team to pay particular attention to certain areas of their defense.
Yeah, taking care of the defensive boards, allowing no easy baskets on the fast break. These are key elements in terms of you having success.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Jones is out there with Crawford. Then there's Cole Aldrich. Then it's Taj Gibson. And it's Muhammad in at the 3 spot. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it inbounds that time.
And that's miscue number 2 for them tonight. On the whole, they've been doing a great job of taking care of the basketball.
Yeah, there's a reason, Greg, they've held on to this lead. I mean, being very cautious and controlled with their passing and execution offensively.
Allen kicks to Crabbe. And Clark, when you played, the NBA was still mostly American players. Now the game is truly global with players from all over the world. How do you think that has changed the NBA?
Well, I think it's enhanced the NBA's product on the floor because, again, you're getting the best players in the world that are competing in the NBA with the international influx. I think it's added to the global popularity of the league without question. The NBA is clear in that we're going far and wide across the globe to find the best players to play in the best league in the world, and I think that's healthy and good.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Well, you know, the D just hasn't been there for real. I mean, these shooters are getting any perimeter shot they want. It's a bunch of warm-up jump shots out there.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Here's Muhammad, and the shot falls short this time.
When he's got that kind of positioning, he's got to score it. Got to score the ball from there.
Here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there. Boy, strange that he bricked that one. I mean, no clue where the defense was, and mercy, mercy me. Excellent body control that time by Muhammad. He takes the hit and still able to complete and finish his move.
Here's Whitehead. Crawford with the steal. And here we go, Muhammad heading to the hoop, and Muhammad throws it down.
Built, not bought. This guy is made to score. Muhammad getting his in a number of ways tonight.
The Nets have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Harris outside. Buries it from three-point range. Harris has got 9 points now in just the second half.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the result.
Greg, that's 3 in a row from out there now, so they've got to do a better job contesting.
Here's Whitehead, defended by Jones. Crabbe from long range. Here's Okafor, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. It's going to go on Tyus Jones. And Jahlil Okafor, the 3rd overall pick in 2015 out of Duke. He was in the conversation for top pick overall.
Yeah, he certainly was, and deservedly so. Now, his value has fallen off a bit since coming into the league, but with big guys, you got to be patient. Don't discard him yet. He's a very polished scorer and a good finisher around the goal. He's got to improve some other areas, but this guy is going to be around for a long time.
And that one falls for Okafor. Clark, we've seen the bench celebration become almost an art form in the NBA over the past few seasons. Are you surprised this is a thing now?
Not at all. Again, when everything is captured and documented, and you're going to have creativity and attention-grabbing celebration, so it's just part of the landscape.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. And Clark, just how important to a team is it to have a veteran presence on it? Like, how did the vets on the Pacers help you when you were a rookie or a young player in the league?
You know what? I think it's invaluable, Kevin. I was a 21-year-old rookie. I left after my junior year at Ohio State. And veteran players, Herb Williams, had been there a year or 2. Guys like Billy Knight and George Johnson, Butch Carter were around. And having those guys talk about what it takes, and we were a very young team and had young veterans, but still they were invaluable in terms of giving you an example of how to go about your business to be successful as a pro. He's been on the roll this quarter, really leading the way for his team right now.
Harris outside, off the screen, and the basket is good. Harris has got 11 in the second half.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it? Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
You know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
There's Crabb with the three. They get it back. Whitehead lays it up off the glass.
Much love goes his way. I mean, he refused to give up on the glass. Nice to see him rewarded because of his hustle.
The shot's good from Aldridge.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
Picked by Okafor. Teardrop shot. Whitehead's shot is off. The Timberwolves have gotten exactly 2/3 of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth, 8 of 12.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
Okafor with the ball. Pass to Whitehead. And last season, one of the first where a coach was not let go during the regular season. A rarity, Clark, in the NBA. Do you think coaches get too much of the blame at times?
Yeah, I would agree with that, Kevin. It's a great responsibility and challenge to coach in the NBA, but more times than not, they do sometimes get an unfair share of the blame for what happens on the court.
Dishes to Okafor. Harris with it. Now defended by Muhammad. Harris kicks to Okafor. Crawford with the rebound.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
The shot's good from Aldridge. Aldridge has got 4 this quarter.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
Here's Gibson. That one doesn't go. Excellent D there from Okafor. The Nets have gone 7 of 15 from the floor here in the fourth, right around 46-47%. Passes it to Allen. Okafor sets the pick for Allen. In the corner, it's Harris. There's the triple. Gets it to drop, and now he's shooting at a 5 for 8 clip.
Boy, this final period, they are putting up a ton of shots from deep.
And knocking down a bunch of them, too. Outstanding shooting in this fourth quarter.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area. This is a fantastic performance in this half. He didn't play as well in the first, but you just know with this guy, he's always ready to turn it around.
The Nets shooting 53% from the field in the fourth quarter. Can't ask for more than that from your offense. Crabb dishes to Okafor, and Allen slams it in.
Well, I tell you, when Okafor sees a wide-open teammate, he really zips the ball over to set him up for a clean look at the bucket.
Gibson passes to Aldridge. That one good for 2.
And they're beginning to just flat-out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Okafor kicks to Crabb. The tray, and the Nets, another 3.
Yeah, they're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results.
And Cole Aldridge with the slam.
Power move by Aldridge. Loves to attack when he gets it that deep.
It's the Nets now. Following this game, they hit the road. They'll take on the Knicks in New York. That will conclude a 5-game road trip for them. Offensive rebound. That's in for his 5th field goal of the game. Makes him 5 for 12 so far.
Boy, I like seeing the ball get to that spot. It doesn't get much better than that.
And the shot is good.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
I think they've really got to start committing more bodies down low and really kind of close that area off defensively.
For 3, Harris. Offensive rebound, Nets. Timberwolves shooting so well, the offensive execution has been brilliant. 66% from the field.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
Fantastic speed on the break. Speed kill, showing no mercy in transition there, partner.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Gorgie Dang comes in for Cole Aldrich. And it's Bielitsa in for Taj Gibson. Andre Hollis Jefferson, he's checked in for Brooklyn. Nick Stauskas comes in for Alan Crabb. It's the Nets now. In the corner, it's Harris. Here's Stauskas, guarded by Crawford. And that one, good. And that's 13 points for Jahlil Okafor.
That is really outstanding work by Okafor. He's a real talent in the paint.
And Muhammad gets it to go.
Still attacking, building on this lead coming down the stretch.
Yeah, he's clicking right now, and at the right time, too, Greg. I mean, playing with a bunch of confidence in this fourth quarter.
Feeds to Stauskas. Offline with his three. Now the Timberwolves with it. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. I just love what Muhammad can do, Clark, for a team coming off the bench. Always looks to attack the basket, and when he is locked in, can function as one of the better 6 men in the league.
Yeah, you know, for some guys, Kevin, being a rotational player off the bench is a hand-in-glove fit. And I think Muhammad falls into that category. I mean, you can give him a start if you needed to. He's not the best defender, but you love what he brings on offense, particularly if he's coming off the bench.
First free throw is good. Officials have been scrutinized by players and coaches and analysts alike for as long as the games have been played. Clark, just how hard is it to be an official in the NBA?
Kevin, harder than I can really articulate. When you think about the number of calls, the speed and strength and athleticism of the players, the dimensions of the court being such a confined space for 10 extremely athletic, powerful players. All of that speaks to me in this way. The NBA officials are fantastic. Yes, they make mistakes, but all human beings make mistakes, and that human element should always be part of the game. I like technology aiding the officials, but I don't ever want to see us eliminate the human element of officiating.
Here's Aldrich, and Cole Aldrich with the slam.
And that monster lead continues to grow. They are just piling it on now.
Yeah, it looks too easy for him. Almost looks too easy for him, I should say, Greg. I mean, their chemistry really at a high level.
And it's Okafor at the elbow. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
Really excellent recognition by Okafor to catch the defense napping. He has to be feeling really quite invincible right now, especially when he's nailing that catch-and-shoot jump shot of his.
Whitehead's shot is off. Minnesota shooting 66% right now. This offense getting everything they want out there. Got that one up quick. Aldrich has got 16 points here in the second half. And for Brooklyn, they're shooting very well right now, 52% in this fourth quarter. Pick by Okafor. 1:49 left in the fourth quarter.
Such a strong finisher for a floor general.
He was up high, and he came down hard. Exquisitely done.
That's the uncanny ability he has, to find a teammate for an easy basket or get one himself. Good ball movement, wonderful pass, couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Now here's Cram. D right on him. There's Hollis Jefferson, and Aldrich sends it back.
Well, we know this about Aldrich, Kevin. I mean, a plus shot blocker, shows good instincts and gives maximum effort.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Timberwolves.
And as we watch the game wind down, you have to look back at all the second chance points these guys generated.
Yeah, they clearly won the second chance points category. Possession after possession, we watched them go after the ball and make misses turn into makes.
And so checking out their record tonight, that'll mark win number 32 overall.
And tonight they will knot up the season series one apiece. You got to think they had that loss earlier in the year in the back of their minds. They showed a really nice response here tonight against Brooklyn.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Karl Anthony Towns.
Well, it was nice seeing him do his thing on offense, wasn't it? Turned it up a notch and flat out pulverized the defense. Minnesota calls timeout.
And over the course of the Nets franchise history, some interesting decisions. I mean, back in the 90s, they came very close to changing the team name to the Swamp Dragons. I think I'm just going to leave that one right there.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
They'd lost 2 straight coming into this one, and he knew he needed to put his foot down. He's shown leadership tonight, getting them back on the winning track. There's 37 seconds left in the game. That one drops for him. So, Greg, how close were the Nets to being the Swamp Dragons anyway?
Well, it needed a unanimous vote of all the teams to change it, but there was one vote against it. The Nets themselves voted against the change, and they had 7 owners who rotated voting duties, and the one on deck got cold feet.
And Cole Aldrich with the slam.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
And here's the fast break. Jumps up, and Cole Aldrich with the slam.
I tell you what, the energy in this arena, you can feel it.
Big time. I mean, it's amazing. Their crowd letting them hear it, and that's always inspiring. They want to see this thing get wrapped up.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Jamal, how did you guys get this win tonight?
We have good players. We have a good coach. I mean, he put us in good positions to succeed. Our players play for each other. We don't care about who scores, and we're a real team.
Yeah, there was a lot of flow out there tonight. Congrats again. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.